Morning everyone. I just want to bring up an item, and it's something that's not been talked about. I have people who know me might have heard me banging on about it, but it is the pay gap between craftsmen and academics, and this is a perfect example of that. Now I know we've got the gender pay gap and all the other pay gaps that are all over the mainstream media, but what I would class as a craftsman-academic pay gap that goes on in construction and also restoration and other places of work where management and academics are excelling and basically getting a lot of money, whereas people who are on the tools, on the ground, are seen as, let's say, second class to the academics, less intelligent maybe. And that might be the point if you're comparing them to an actual academic comparison, but if you talk on a craftsmanship level, it's a lot different measurement stick. So this, you'll have seen we put up on social media. I'd just like to say, you know, the lads who have been involved with this through the stone cutting in the quarry the stone, the lads who have drawn it and templated it in the stone yard, the lads that have then cut it and carved it, and then those on site who have fitted it. The kind of sell rates that we're getting in markets currently are probably around about, you know, 35 to 40 pound an hour, and that's as a sell rate to the client. But the academics, and this is from what I know within the industry of restoration, are charging onwards 110 to 150. That's 110 to 150 pounds per hour as a sell rate to the client, which is a huge markup on what the actual craftsmen are getting. And as you can see, this is no easy feat. There's a level of intelligence there that is not measurable on an academic scale, and it seems that the craftsmen are getting the bad end of the deal, where we don't get paid as much for the years of experience that we bring into projects, learning on site, on the job. So I just want to highlight this. If the industry is going to change, if we're going to get new people into this line of work, into craftsmanship, into manual work, everybody's kind of thinking, well, we'll get people off the dole, we'll get ex-prisoners and everything like that, we'll shove them into construction. And these guys are good, that can, you know, provide labour, but, you know, to do the more skilled tasks takes a lot of intelligence in other ways rather than academia. So I think things need to change in this pay gap. Probably all the guys on this who's going to watch this who are craftsmen and workers who have a skill, whether that's roofing work or stonemasonry, pointing or brickwork, will all agree that it is on the bottom end. We would like to pay more than just above minimum wage for the work that they're doing, but we're kind of, as a business ourselves, we're limited to what we can charge, because if we try and up our rates, we won't win any work. So we're kind of stuck where we can actually charge for, which then in turn relates to what we can pay the guys and girls that work for us. And restoration, I think, has kind of been exempt from this. The restoration sector has always had slightly higher pay than the general construction, house building and things like that. So I would like to see that continue, because I think people in the restoration sector do have a level of skill in unique terms. But the problem is now, even that we're seeing in the restoration sector, is that this, over the last 12 months, is now becoming a race to the bottom. As more people are getting involved with lime mortar and there's more restoration companies setting up, they are winning work by pricing it cheaply. The academics are taking them up on that offer of the cheap work, some of it is not working out that I personally have seen live and I know about. We are pricing work and competing or trying to compete against these people, but I will not enter a race to the bottom. And it just seems a shame now that the restoration sector is also in this race to the bottom, along now with general construction. And yeah, if we're going to get people involved in construction and restoration and get new leavers out of the school straight into doing an apprenticeship, it's not going to happen with this huge pay gap between craftsmen and academics, and this needs to change and be addressed. And all the goings on between these little training systems that have been in place through historic England and everything else, you know, and everyone wants to improve heritage skills, but the main issue is this pay gap, and this is the perfect example. You would not get academics to carve and fit something like this. I would kind of level that intelligence to make and install something like this is similar to, you know, a structural engineer, a surveyor, an architect, in that kind of level of intelligence. It might not be mental intelligence that you sit down at a computer or you draw something or you do calculations, but there is a high intelligence there, and I think this needs discussing about a lot more than what it currently is and how it's going to get addressed. So if you agree with me, drop a comment in below. I'd like to see everybody's thought on this and how it can be resolved in a way that, you know, we can slowly increase this and we're not now going to a race to the bottom where we're going to lose more and more good people out of the restoration sector, and it's going to make it harder and harder, because it is already hard. Recruitment for us as a company is an absolute nightmare. We're training lads up on site ourselves. There is no help from CRTB, there's no help from the government, so it is a real struggle to do anything, and it's getting harder and harder every year, and it's this huge pay gap that we've got. And like I said, now restoration's suffering as well. I can see it 12 months, in another 12 months it's going to get even harder. So yeah, drop a comment in, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on it. Thanks a lot, see you later.